Hi, everyone. I wanted to provide you with an overview of the EHR usability testing assignment today. First, before I get too deep into that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this unit, which focuses on project management and health IT vendor selection. And so in this case, we're looking at selecting a new EHR as our IT project. And so I think the first thing that would be really important for you to do before you begin this assignment and before you begin this unit actually is make sure that you have your reading done. If you have not worked in healthcare, I think it's essential that you go and read the chapter on project management in the Oaks and Waters textbook. Okay. If you have been working in healthcare, I think that then you can just, like we've been doing throughout this entire course is you don't need to worry about those foundational concepts, but rather the advanced concepts. And for those of you that haven't worked in healthcare, read both, obviously. So for sure, so reading through the chapter 7 and chapter 8 for this assignment would be really great. Okay. All right. So in terms of vendor selection and things, one of the most important things is considering how usable the EHR is. Okay. And as you found out in the last assignment that you did on strategic planning, usability and things for providers is extremely important. So their ability to get through the EHR quickly to complete their tasks allows them to see more patients or spend more time with patients, right? And so one example I can give you, a real life example from my work experience, was when I was at First Light Health System, which is now Wellia Health here in Mora, Minnesota. I was the IT manager there for about 4 years. During that time, we were kind of transitioning from a hospital to a health system. We acquired 3 clinics. And at the time, the clinics that we were acquiring were using Epic through the Allina Health System. Okay, it's called Excellion. And so the doctors were using Excellion in their clinics, but whenever they came over to the hospital to provide rounds or deliver babies or do surgeries or whatever they needed to do, they were having to obviously use our Meditech EMR. Meditech was a great system from a administrative perspective. Our HIM department, billing department, a lot of the clinical departments really liked it, like lab and imaging. The main group of people that did not like it were the providers. They felt that it was too clunky, too many steps to complete different tasks in the system, and just were really unhappy, especially when they were comparing it to what they had over at the clinic when they were using Epic. And so this is a really important step when you're evaluating EHRs and which one you want to implement at your organization. And so usability is what we're going to be addressing for this assignment. And you're essentially going to be evaluating the usability of the Dr. Chrono EHR. Okay. So the main reason I wanted to provide this overview is because the VLab is not very user-friendly. There's a lot of steps. It's kind of clunky. AHIMA has been working on getting this to be an easier process for many years. I don't think they're quite there yet, but it is much better than it was. So what I have right here on this screen is the assignment. And notice there's step 1 here. And then there's step 2, okay? So the first thing you need to do, obviously, is just focus on step 1, gaining access to the VLab, okay? Note here that here's your first and last names and your assigned enrollment code for the VLab. Please do not copy somebody else's enrollment code. Eric Nordgren is on vacation and did not bring his computer with. He's the one that issues these enrollment codes. And so if you use somebody else's code, we could be in trouble. So make sure you're copying and pasting accurately here. Okay. So I'm going to click on the VLab instructions. We'll get started with this. I just want to provide you with an overview. It's pretty straightforward, but just want to make sure that you all can get in. Okay. All right. So step 1 is talking about the enrollment code. All right. Then it says in any browser other than Internet Explorer. So you can't use IE for this assignment. I'm using Chrome right now. So I think that is probably the best option. You're going to go to the HEMA Learning Center and sign in. So if you have if you're already a member of a HEMA and you have login credentials, you're going to use those. If not, you're going to create an account now. Okay, so then you'll follow those steps. So I'm going to go ahead and log in because I'm going to kind of walk you through this. And my screen is going to look a little bit different just because obviously I'm an instructor and I have a little bit different access, but for the most part, you'll get the gist and it'll be very similar. Okay, so you've either logged in or you've created a new account. Okay, so the next step talks about this add class right here, because you're not going to have these listed already. My classes that I'm enrolled in, you don't have VLab listed here yet. So you're going to want to do that. We're going to go back to the instructions. All right, so once you're logged in to the Learning Center page, you're going to click on add class. And then it's going to open a window and it's going to ask you to enter your enrollment code. So go ahead and do that, copy and paste it from Brightspace in there. And then once your code is accepted, you'll see a success message, right? And then your course will appear on the page. So yours is going to say Brightspace VLab, all right? And then it should also have a status of registered if it worked, okay? All right, and then you're going to select your school from the drop-down menu. So you'll select St. Scholastica. And then after a few seconds, you're gonna get this message saying, welcome. And so you're in, right? Okay, so you're in, what next? I'm gonna click out of this and I'm gonna go back to the instructions. So you've done step one. Now you move on to the actual assignment. So click and open the assignment instructions. Okay. And before you get started, just a couple little housekeeping things. Obviously, read the introduction. You're going to complete section 6. You're going to complete the deliverables here. You're going to provide. Actually, I'm not going to cover this right now. I'm going to go down below because I don't want to confuse you, but these are your deliverables. The other thing is this document here is essentially your assignment. So what you should do is you should go and make a copy of it here in Drive, answer the questions that I'll go over in a little bit, and then you're going to download it as a Word document. So if you haven't done this before, file, make a copy. That's how you can make it your own, save it. And then when you're all done with the assignment, ready to submit, you go file, download, Microsoft Word, and then upload it. I do prefer that you guys use Microsoft Word as much as possible when you're submitting your assignments in Brightspace, because it allows me to use the markup feature, which I can't do if your assignment is in PDF format. So, okay, so prior to starting the assignment, review these two documents. Okay, number 2 says you've already set up your account by following the VLab instructions within Brightspace. Once you have done that, log into the VLab by going to the HEMA Learning Center. So we already did that, right? So I'm gonna, because I have it open already. So the Learning Center, I'm gonna click into my VLab. Okay, so here is the screen. Yours is probably, like I said, gonna look a little bit different. But what is the same for all of us is this content link up here. So click on content. Okay, and then you're going to actually, by the way, back up really quick. I don't want to confuse you guys too much, but the instructions for this is right here. Instructions for students accessing Dr. Chrono. So if you're wondering, why is she doing that? The instructions for that are specifically here. So clicking on content, which I did, in the options listed on the left side of the screen, click on application activities. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. So, so I hit content over here under the application activities. I'm going to click on Dr. Chrono, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on introduction and activity directions. Okay, so once I do that, read through this a little bit, by the way, you're not going to complete any activities here within VLab. If you want to, you sure can, but they're not required for this assignment. This assignment is going to kind of take a little different spin. Download the instructions here, okay? And I have those actually already pulled up. So you've created your account in VLab, you're into VLab, right? The next step is getting into Dr. Chrono. So you're going to follow all of these instructions once you get there, but I'm going to just go back here. I'm hoping I'm not confusing you guys too much. Okay, let's take a step back and we're going to, okay, so start off with the getting started, download those instructions, then go back to Dr. Chrono here in this Learning Center, okay? And right here where it says Dr. Chrono launch link, you're going to click on that. Okay, and this is where these instructions are going to take you, right? Okay, so we've done that. We download the directions, and then once you have the instructions downloaded, click on Dr. Chrono again. Yep, launch it. And then you're going to switch over to where's that document? Sorry, guys. Okay, then you're going to switch over here and you're going to follow these instructions to get into Dr. Chrono. Okay, so right here, like there's screenshots. It's very well laid out. You're going to do the student sign up. You're going to follow all these screens and instructions. Okay, so do that. Okay, so then once you get into Dr. Chrono, you're good, right? Then you can actually begin the assignment. All right, so I'm going to go back to the assignment instructions. Okay, so let's see. So access Dr. Chrono. Okay, we did that. Now we're going to open the HIMSS EMR Usability Evaluation Guide. A lot of steps, you guys. I'm sorry about that. So anyways, here's your tasks and scenarios, right? I just want you to kind of have this open as you go through the scenario. It's very similar to what I have written on the assignment, but this is the scenario, okay? All right, go back. Here's the assignment, or here's the scenario, sorry. The new patient presents with 3 days of dysuria, hematuria, urgency and frequency, no fevers, chills, or back pain. Physician orders Bactrim DS 1 tab BID times 3 days. Vinazopyridine 200 milligrams TID after meals. 2 days later, the patient phones in that she has an itchy rash between the toes of her left foot. Physician recommends over-the-counter terbinafine cream to apply twice a day over 10 days. Okay, so there's your actual patient, right? And you're going to put yourself now in the provider position. And within Dr. Chrono, you need to go through each of these tasks. Evaluating it, task 1, you're going to establish a new patient. So records, you're going to try to go in and create a new record, right? So how many steps does it take? So go through and answer these questions for each task. Now, you're probably like, well, I don't know how to use Dr. Chrono. And that's kind of intentional because that's part of the whole process, right? Learning and addressing the usability of the system. So we really would like you to go through and figure out kind of where everything is documented. There are tutorials, and of course they have like a help page, Dr. Chrono does. I think it's right here. Here's a link for support. And then here's a link for some different tutorials. You can take this as far and as deep as you want in terms of going through them, but I think it would be great if you could try to go through each of the tasks on your own without doing those, okay? And up here is an example of how you could answer each of the questions. So for say example, evaluating task number 1A, it took 20 steps to create a new patient. It was confusing to understand the required versus not required fields. And then the second one, it did seem to follow the setup pretty easily. However, it was a lot of jumping between screens. So get the gist of kind of how you're going to evaluate each of those tasks. Okay, so here again, so if you just go through and answer each of those. Okay, so once you've done that and kind of completed each of those tasks, then you're going to use the HIMSS usability guide. Pull that up. And you're going to kind of give an overview, right? And kind of how you think the Dr. Chrono EMR is in terms of simplicity, naturalness, consistency, forgiveness and feedback, effective use of language, efficient interactions, effective information presentation, preservation of context, minimizing cognitive load. Okay, so obviously reading the information about each of these to address it. You don't have to give me a ton of information. I'm just looking for 1 to 2 pages, double spaced. No, you don't have to go really into depth, but I guess I would really like you to address each of those elements and share your thoughts on the Dr. Chrono application in terms of those usability criteria. Okay. All right. I've been talking a lot. I've gone back and forth a lot on these documents. I really hope I'm not confusing you too much. If you do have questions, please reach out to me. And as you can see, it is really important that you kind of get through these steps as soon as possible and don't wait until Sunday night, okay? Procrastination is not your friend when it comes to this assignment, because AHIMA is not always the fastest in terms of getting back to you. Because I guess I should have also stated that I actually can't help you if you have technical issues with the VLab or Dr. Chrono. It's really out of my hands, unfortunately. I used to be able to kind of do some more troubleshooting with students, but now AHIMA manages absolutely everything related to the VLab. So, all right, enough of me talking to you. And I really hope that you guys kind of enjoy this assignment and have fun with it in terms of playing around in this EMR. So, all right, have a great day. Bye.